everyone. Now we will study about New Industrial Policy 1991. About this policy we have studied in class 11th. The New Industrial Policy 1991 was based on three aspects: liberalization, privatization and globalization. Before 1991, since 1947 till 1991, Government of India has taken all the responsibility for industrial development in the country. But when we observed the performance of Indian economy in 1991, the situation was very worse, and it was required to reform the industrial policy. And this reformation was done in 1991 on the basis of these three basic concepts: liberalization, privatization and globalization. Liberalization means removal of unnecessary controls and restrictions on business and industries. And this liberalization is done by implementing these reforms. Industrial licensing was abolished. Before 1991, licensing system was strict, and for the industries, it was compulsory to take license before starting the business organization. Lefting some of the industries, remaining industries are now free to run their business industries without taking any license, and this licensing system was completely abolished except some of the business organization. Still it is compulsory to take license, but remaining industries are now free. Export import procedure was simplified. Movement of the goods and services was now free. Restrictions were removed on the movement of goods and services from state to state and city to city. Tax rates were reduced so that easily they get raw material to produce the things. Freedom in fixing the price of the goods and services. Now industries were free to fix up the price of the goods or services. Before 1991, government intervention was there, but now they are free to fix up the price of the goods or services, and unnecessary control and regulations were removed from the business and industries. Privatization, it refers to the reducing of role of public sector and increasing that of private sector. In New Industrial Policy 1991, private sector role was reduced. Less importance was given to the private sector and public sector, and more importance was given to the private sector. Public sector role was reduced and private sector role was increased, and this was done by making disinvestment in public sector. It means the public sector organization were given to the private sector organization. And how this will become possible? By giving the shares of the government, that government sold their share to the public sector organization, and the stake of the government was reduced in public sector organization. This is called disinvestment in public sector organization. And SIC industries. The SIC industries were now handed over to BIFR. SIC industries are those whose performance was very low, and year by year they are suffering from losses. These industries were given to Board of Industrial Financial Reconstruction for their improvement in performance, if it is possible. And stake of the government was reduced. And one more important thing, the industries which were reserved for the public sector organization, means private sector was not allowed to enter into that field, these industries were also open for private sector. Now private sector is free to enter into any of the business and industrial field, and they can start running the activities. Nowadays only 3 organizations are reserved for the public sector industries. We have studied about this in 11th class. Then globalization, the process of integrating Indian economy with the various economies of the world. Before 1991, Indian economy was not so open, and it was restricted to trade with each and every country of the world. But now, after in the New Industrial Policy 1991, the Indian economy has globalized, means it is now open for each and every economy of the world. Any company can come into the Indian market. they can invest here, they can open their branches here. So Indian economy has become open economy after 1991, and it includes free movement of goods or services among the different countries, and free movement of capital and labor across the borders. Means labor can also, workers can also go to the other countries to work. Technology is having also free flow. Countries can easily transfer technology to other country, and common acceptable mechanism for the settlement of dispute was also framed. We have studied this platform in the form of WTO in class 11 for settling the common disputes among the countries related to the trade in between them. So in this way, the industry in Indian economy has globalized, so that India will get foreign investment, and many companies, many industries will come to India to work, and people of India will get employment, and standard of living of the people of the country will uplift, and the purpose of industrial development can also be fulfilled. That's all for today. Thank you.